More hashtags do not equal more reach.
And posting every day, it won't save a bad strategy. Today we're busting the social media myths that are holding you back.
There's a lot of bad advice floating around on social media, and some of it is actively stalling your growth. In this episode, Sophia and I are calling out the myths, misunderstandings, and outdated tactics that we see brands still clinging to. From hashtag overload to viral obsession, we're breaking it down so you can stop spinning your wheels and start building real momentum. So let's kick things off with the biggest myths we hear all the time from clients, creators, and the marketing world at large.
The first one is more hashtag equal more reach, and that couldn't be further from truth.
If you're not watching the video, my eyes are rolling into the back of my head for that one.
And I'm laughing at like my middle school self when I used to like copy and paste.
Oh yeah, hashtag love. Yeah, heart. Hashtag Abercrombie. Yes.
Hashtag goals.
Yes.
Overstuffing your content now makes it look scammy or honestly just unprofessional, non-strategic, and just outdated, you know?
Yeah. I recently spoke with, I do a training for an organization every quarter on social media for their team. And I always research the latest trends. And actually Instagram came out with a report and kind of did it quietly about saying how like 4 to 5 hashtags is all you need, because now that as of July 10th, now they're indexing your captions for search engine optimization anyways. So even if you don't put, like, we're talking about Savannah, Georgia, you don't have to hashtag Savannah, Georgia. If you're putting it in the caption, it's still going to show up. So really you're better off focusing on a mix. So that's like one broad hashtag. So say we're talking about Savannah, Georgia, hashtag Savannah, one niche, maybe like Savannah restaurants.
Yeah.
And then one branded, and maybe it's SavannahOutdoorRestaurant.com or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But at least you're having something broad, something a little more, and then something really niche. You're kind of hitting all the markets, and it's more for a categorization of a post than getting people to follow. And I have a lot of clients who are like, don't we need a hashtag for every location I serve? And we're like, no, not necessary.
See that, and they're still persistent. And
yes,
not necessary. But I mean, I think a great example is, for example, you heard it here podcast. 3 would be the golden rule. So
yes,
one broad one could be marketing tips, a niche one is social media strategy, and then a branded one, hashtag you heard it here.
exactly.
That is like the golden ticket.
Yes. And then from there, if we have a guest or something on there, you might see us do like a hashtag for the guest company or the guest topic.
Double niche.
But we really do follow that down.
Yeah, or some people, they choose not to use hashtags, and hashtags are a great way to.
And I still say, like, I mean, we make our clients still use them, but very sparingly.
And I mean, it's just a great way for the algorithm to organize your content.
Exactly. Another myth that's huge, and we talked about this before, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure, many times again, is that you have to post every single day to stay relevant. So false.
I hate it. I literally hate it. We have very few clients who really need it. I think it's just also, can you supply content?
Right. And consistency matters more than frequency. I'd rather see accounts be consistent and have great content than just put something out to put something out, or try to do it every day. Then they get burnt out and then they're smiling.
Yeah. Or just, if you have 20 great photos, use it sparingly. Don't use it for the next 20 days.
Exactly. What's another myth?
Viral content equals success.
So true.
Wrong.
Yes. I've had clients go viral and not get one sale from a viral post. And then they have posts that are getting, 500 views, 1,000 views, and they're getting sales from those views.
And also, that also ties into, we have clients before, or sometimes they're like, oh, well, I want to go viral, or I want the most views. And that doesn't always equal sales, or brand growth.
It's the right audience is better.
And sometimes not the best.
Yes. And those clients were excited for a moment, like, woo, we're going viral. And then after that, they're like, well, that didn't really give me what I wanted. And we're like, we know. Or it's exciting, but a lot of times it's going viral for maybe the wrong reason. And it might go viral for a right reason. There was one I saw the other day, which was super inappropriate, but we'll talk about it on this podcast, where like they were trying to surprise their boss, and the girl was like in a trash bag, and she tried to like open her arms to reach out to her boss, and she accidentally reached close to his like nether regions. And it was kind of like in that zone. And everyone only took away that the boss was like well hung. That's what the caption said. So they were going viral for this. And they made funny videos like about like our viral boss and like he's hot and like all this stuff. No one is using their construction company because of that video. I mean, one person maybe found it, but most people are just laughing at how embarrassing the moment was and how mortified he was. And it was just so odd. I need to link it because if no one watches this, it's me describing it as crazy, but it's a great example of didn't matter.
I've seen before, and my friend, she has a jewelry store and gorgeous pieces, and she posted a necklace, and it was obviously showing her chest. The whole comments was just pointing out like her chest and not the jewelry.
Right.
So it's just like wrong audience.
Exactly. Another myth is that you need to be on every platform. This one drives us crazy because there's a couple reasons for it. The first is I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket. So if a client tell us that we only want us to manage one platform, we'll try to convince them 2 or 3. I think it's important to niche down and focus. But I also think you can't be on every platform properly in the right way if you don't have to be. Like your clientele, unless they're looking for you everywhere, you need to be where your audience is. You don't need to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Lemonade, now Threads, YouTube, all of the above, Snapchat, like
YouTube Shorts.
Right. Pick where they are and really push there.
And like I said, like you want to go viral on TikTok, you want to be on TikTok, where are the videos coming from?
Yes. Exactly. What's another myth?
To supply it.
What's another myth, Sophia?
Paid ads are cheating the algorithm.
So that is it's really not a myth, but kind of a myth. So a lot of times we say that some of these social media platforms are pay to play. Right now, TikTok is still not. They're still doing a good job letting organic content be organic content. But I find Facebook, for example, and Instagram, pay to play in the sense that you have to have some good ads for brands, not necessarily the individuals, but it's the brands to really be big. But it's not necessarily cheating the algorithm. You're making it work for you and you are paying for that. You're paying for those views. So you earn them. And then if you're getting a right audience from those ads, it can lead to better organic algorithm because the algorithm starts to understand who your audience is. So it can lead to maybe like a cheat code, but it's not because you're putting the work in and you're doing it right.
Yeah, the algorithm has kind of like a magic tool, and then it's like targeting the right audience.
Exactly.
You're not going to get the wrong people in your comment section.
Exactly.
Pushing and putting budget behind this organic content.
Yes. And as we say, a lot of these come from hustle culture and TikTok and social media, but not real data.
Yeah, we need to pull analytics in order to see what's working with them.
Yes. And these myths are what drive us crazy because when we have clients who want to do proposals and get our services, they're listening to, I saw this video, or my cousin's sister's niece said, or my uncle told me I need to do XYZ. So that's why this episode is here. We're debunking all of those myths.
It sets unrealistic expectations from your social media presence.
Exactly. And it's not just that the myths are wrong, but it's that they're wasting time, money, and creative energy. So let's talk about why do you think these myths really burn people out?
I mean, the number one is needing to be on every platform and posting every day. I mean, you're exhausted and you're pushing out content 24/7. And if you're doing it solo, you're have no strategy likely.
Right. You're burning yourself out with them. And then also if you're trying to chase trends and trying to game the algorithm, you're just leading to poor strategy because good marketing and basic marketing principles matter. Not just what can I do quick. I have a lot of clients who are say like, this is trending, let's do it quick, but it doesn't align with their brand. And then they're overwhelmed when they want to do that trend, but they don't have the content or they don't have the copy. And I have to do all this work to make it happen. Because sometimes we'll try to make a trending moment happen, but sometimes it does flop because it's not authentic to what they're doing. And you really want to stay on your traditional marketing path and maybe throw that in or sprinkle it in every now and then. And I'd rather like we go back to this all the time, prioritize quality over quantity.
And also, like we all know and have seen that social media can become oversaturated. So you're just leading and adding to that, which is overload of content and even on every platform.
Yes. And when you start doing content for the algorithm instead of your audience and instead of who it's created for, that's when the growth stalls. That's when it feels inauthentic. We had Andrew on the podcast in an earlier episode, and he was talking about how doctors are doing, funny TikTok dances or silly things just to get views, but it's not really authentic to them. They're not really educating. They're not putting themselves out there in the way that they probably want to be professionally.
Or perceived.
Exactly. So they're not thinking of their audience. They're just thinking of an algorithm and a click, and it's not going to connect to business down the line.
Yeah. So you'll get quick engagement, but it's not going to be sustainable or profitable for your business or even your brand because this trend, for example, dancing, is just not on brand with as a surgeon,
Exactly.
Or I even see a lot with real estate agents. I feel like real estate TikTok is a big one also for their industry. And it's like they can still produce content and viral content, but
Be
on
you.
brand with that and be you. Don't start dancing. And that's, TikTok, when it started, that's kind of like, that's a myth also that TikTok was for dancing. And it's not anymore. It doesn't have to be.
No.
So that's not what I'm watching.
Right. And it's technically a search engine now. I mean, it has great searchable tools. I can say how to get a stain out of a blouse. What's the best? I'm going to Germany in a couple of weeks. Where should I eat in Frankfurt? There's so many great tools you can use it for that you don't have to lean into what it was created for. It's evolved. You can evolve as well.
Literally last night, I was fixing a pair of jeans, how to fix a zipper on my jeans.
In 20
seconds, 27 seconds. Yes.
Great.
It's like so easy, no sewing machine needed. And I got what I needed in seconds versus YouTube or reading something on Google.
No, it's so true. That's how I changed my smoke detector batteries with TikTok.
Exactly.
That's, millennial.
I need visuals also.
Yes. And if it's like a 10-minute video, I don't want it.
I don't even want to skip. I just want it.
Exactly. So now let's flip it. If you stop doing those things, what should you be focusing on?
First start is with clear branding and clear messaging. That's something that we have been talking about.
That over volume. I had Melissa on the podcast in an earlier episode, and we talked about clear brand messaging, and her big one-liner is keep it simple.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because that seems simple enough, but everyone gets so wrapped up in their business because they're proud of it. And they say, well, we can do this, we offer this. Or if they're a restaurant, our dessert's amazing. Everyone goes so big.
Yes.
But you got to keep it simple and then really hit that right than just putting out volume and putting out things just to put out things.
I think also just in your messaging, you are an expert in your industry, but others may not be. So introducing it and also making sure it's clear and digestible.
Yes. How many clients do we get that we're like, what do they even do? We don't know what they do until we start working with them.
Exactly.
We can't tell.
And we have to make the content that for people like us who
exactly
don't know.
And for their audience. No, that's where it comes into it back. We always go back to know your audience, but it's so true.
Another key point that we can work on is sustainable posting versus daily posting.
Yes. We've talked about batching. We've given tools in other episodes on how to be sustainable. But it's whatever works for you in the end. But daily is how you're going to burn out fast.
Yeah,
exactly. So if you think I can commit to twice a week and I'm going to do twice a week right, and it's going to be quality and the messaging is going to be great, then that's what matters. Not all these myths, not all these lies.
Yeah, I mean, what works for twice a week versus 5 days a week or every day just really depends on what you can provide and also your audience.
Long term.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh, you go away for a month, everything stops. Then it looks like you're out of business.
Yeah. Also, I think a great example is recently we had a client, we sent over their analytics and they were like, what can we do to drive engagement? And we were like, well, you're already producing high videos at 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And can we support this 5 times a week? Maybe.
And does your audience really isn't asking for more videos.
They don't need it,
So it's more about just improving.
Need to more leads. Most likely not, because
exactly
the type of industry that they're in.
Yes. So it's more about just making their content look polished and appealing to their audience than doing more
consistent.
Exactly. And that's where we say we use data to drive content decisions, and everyone should. Social media is not the time to throw spaghetti on a wall and hope it sticks. I say that all the time. We pull monthly analytics reports here at Goat Social. And if your agency, or even if you're doing it yourself or in-house, you should be looking at those numbers and then seeing, wow, you might be surprised that something silly that you did in 2 seconds did really well, and something that you spent hours and hours on didn't do that well. Then you kind of shift in that. And when we go back to why something silly does well, it's often because it's simple, often because it's authentic, organic. So that's why it's important to look at that data and then have the data drive the decisions. And also too, if you're working with a company or a boss, or you have, your own brand and friends are saying one thing, and they're saying, and the data's saying another thing, you have that to back it up. Your boss might say, I want you to write a blog a week, and I want you to do a carousel with all these slides about the blog. And then you could say, look, no one's liking it. No one's watching it, but they're liking the videos or they're liking the photos. Then you have that to drive your decisions going forward. And then you also know where to spend money.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really look past the vanity metrics of like likes, views, and really look at how many shares your content is getting, the saves, watch time, or most importantly, conversion.
Yes, and I'm going to jump on the fact that you brought up vanity metrics. A lot of people don't realize what that means. And vanity metrics means exactly what it sounds like, vanity, in the sense of it's your likes, your views, your followers. But what really counts is what you can't really see on the outside. So a lot of times people think like, oh, this post only got 10 likes, or I only have 1,000 followers, but they have 1,000,000 followers, or but they have 100,000 likes. But are they doing business from it, or are you doing business from it? We have some clients who are at the max of what they can take on. Like they're so busy, they don't want any more work, but they still want their social media to be active. Okay, so we don't really have to care about the vanity metrics. If anything, we care more about the shares, the link clicks, the likes, the watch time. And that's
And
totally
your
okay.
credibility as a business.
Exactly. It's not always about that, but I think people would get caught up because the vanity metrics is all they see on other people's profiles, but you can't see on Apple how many people are clicking to their website just from looking at their Instagram.
I mean, we've heard it before, like sometimes in like competitor analysis situations, they'll be like, oh, look at this account. Like they have X amount of followers. And it's like, okay, but like, what are their conversions like?
Yes,
You know?
yes, an engagement rate. And a lot of times too, when you buckle down from followers to likes and
views.
engagement rate, you realize that it's a lot of it smoke and mirrors anyways. And some of the people that you think are doing really well are not doing much better than you. If you break down the percentage to percentage, some of the smaller accounts actually have a higher engagement rate than these bigger accounts because they have a more niche and focused audience.
Exactly. So it's just really what works for you, not what's working for others.
Exactly. And also build community and engagement, not just reach. We say it all this time, make social media social. Find that community, find those people who are going to really embrace you on social. And that's how you're going to grow, not just, can this post hit 1,000,000 people?
Yeah. And you don't want to let these numbers kill your creativity. You want it to like inform your next.
Yes, and inspire.
Yes. We love a smart strategy that's repeatable, not one that burns you out in a month.
Exactly. So if you've been stuck in one of those myths, it's okay. We've all been there. The good news is you can pivot today.
And we're linking some of our go-to sources in the show notes if you want to dive deeper.
Definitely. And if this episode helped you out, as always, share it, tag us, and let's have more marketers also ditch these myths.